What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com, here with a name you know. And you're going to get to know him for more than just wrestling. He's stepping into the supplement world with REDCON1. We got Kenny Omega. Kenny, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this. I got the information. You're doing stuff with REDCON1. You're going to be helping them not just promote supplements. You're helping them develop these supplements, correct?
Yeah. It's a very unique relationship, and I'm super excited to actually be part of the creative process and create some new formulas and new flavors. We got V-Trigger coming out. Well, it's already out, I guess, by the time this releases. So V-Trigger on its way. Again, a flavor I'm very proud of. I'm proud of the product. I'm proud of how it tastes. I'm a very when I take my supplements, how it tastes is always very important. It's got to be, you have to feel it, but you have to enjoy consuming it as well. So hopefully, amongst their already wonderful flavor profile, that V-Trigger will be one of the top tastes. Hopefully, I'm pretty proud of it. And again, it's just been fun to choose a flavor, to sample flavors, to revise it, and come up with a winning formula. And I think we found it. So I'm excited, really excited.
Obviously, appearance and physical fitness is something that goes hand in hand with your line of work, but you've seen like a ton of schedule changes over the last couple of years and location changes and all that. How important has been stuff like this, and especially the stuff you're doing with REDCON1, been to your adjustment, whether it be schedule or travel or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, as the schedule gets more hectic and as I get older and as you find yourself traveling more and spending more nights in hotels and all that stuff, really being able to supplement efficiently becomes sort of paramount. You might not be able to get sort of nourishment via real food that you can order from a restaurant when you need it, because maybe you're burning some midnight oil and maybe you're out and working until 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning or whatever have you. And, maybe doing drive-through McDonald's at 4 a.m. isn't probably, for my lifestyle, it's not great for me. I'm going to go to bed not feeling well. I'm going to wake up probably not feeling well either. So it's great to have these options where, for those moments in need, when you need to snack on something, or whether you need, some vitamins, or whether you need, pick me up, that we have something for you. And REDCON was, they were there for me before we even signed this deal. I was always really happy to use their products as a customer. So to now represent that brand and help represent it, but also use their products as well. It's a real game changer. And it's like you said, it's now part of sort of the creative process and some of the product formulation, and it's really cool. It's really fun. But just because I made a product doesn't mean I'm just making a product and stepping away from it. I'm a user and believer of these products on a day-to-day basis. And I really think I found a great partner to team with, because what they create is it's very, very transparent with their labeling. You know exactly what's going in, how much is going in. It's very safe. We'll be in big box stores everywhere, whereas you can buy. They sort of hold their products that they carry to the highest standard, so they're not going to let any rinky-dink backwater deals. They're not going to see the dawn of the light of day on their shelves. So it's cool to really have sort of a product that keeps actual human health and safety in mind, so that no one's digesting anything they shouldn't be.
And I'm sure there are a plethora of people who came to know you in the last few years, especially with AEW exploding in America. But the physical transformation that you have went through from the time that you had that now famous promo with the AJ Styles turn, like you are composed completely different. How much of that was supplementing and finding stuff like what you're doing with REDCON1?
Yeah, so aside from being able to sort of push your own limits in the gym or otherwise in whatever sorts of training or performing that you're doing, just supplementing comes into play for me specifically as I get older, where it helps you deal with injuries, deal with the rough travel schedules. So like I said, when you're on a bus for 7 to 9 hours, or you're on a plane, or planes in plural, and you're just bouncing from plane to plane to plane, and you're not going to have time to sit down and eat or whatever. These are where these things come into play, and these are where these things make sure that you're, making sure you're treating your calories, making sure you're getting your vitamin profile, all that sort of thing. Before, back when you were talking about the AJ Styles turn, I felt that I was going against the grain to stay lighter, so I would fit in more with the juniors. But by the same token, I was doing sort of the rough schedules with New Japan without having any sort of help. So if I was really hungry, I would wait till we got to the next rest stop. And, typically in Japan, when you go to a rest stop, you have just fried foods, curry. That's it. I mean, it's tasty, but if you're waiting, 5 hours for your next stop and that's the next thing you ingest, it's not necessarily going to reflect in your physique or in your performance. You know what I mean? So to be able to now, carry product on me and make sure that that what goes in me is of the highest caliber, that allows you to build a better physique, to stay in better shape, to have more energy. And now that I'm, it's a different lifestyle than it was in Japan, doing what I do now, but the hours are even more odd. I have to do a lot of business overseas, and I have to do a lot of business, here as well. So I have to adjust my schedule around a schedule that is 12 hours different than what I'm living right now. So that means that, it's late night, early mornings, and supplementing in that regard helps a lot. If I play games, I like to play competitive games. So, first person shooters, I like to play, fighting games, you need to be ready, and and even being slow by a couple frames of animation, it could be the difference between winning and losing. And I like to play everything and do everything that I do at the highest level that I'm capable of. So even supplementing there, it really helps. Helps keep me alert, helps keep me focused. We have products for that as well. So whether it be me manning the calls and or computer, at 7 or 8 a.m. when I'm going to bed at 5 or 6, I'm able to stay alert. I'm able to kind of put my best foot forward. I'm not a zombie in those cases. And of course, that's working. And when I have to do things in the ring, when it's like a quick segue from doing that to tossing on a pair of tights and doing what I do in the ring, that's where the supplementing comes in as well, where we have supplements for hydration, supplements for energy, for alertness, for mental alertness. There's something for every situation, and again, the product lineup just keeps expanding every time I talk to these guys. They're working on something new, something groundbreaking, and it's really cool to be on the cutting edge of it and to be a part of it all.
We're seeing you take these entrepreneurial steps between working with REDCON1 and getting involved with gaming. We saw the big AEW Games presentation. In your own words, you said you're getting older, which seems like this age is around the prime for a wrestler these days, but everybody's different. We've heard Cody say things like he might want to become a senator. Do you ever have like a set time, like, oh, I want to wrap up my career by this time, or I want to do this, and I'm going to start moving things around to make that happen? Because you already have a ton of different responsibilities besides the in-ring that people see on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest things I could ever ask for is being able to decide what time that is. It'd be great if I could, but unfortunately, as wrestlers and doing what we do, we sometimes don't have the ability to choose. I remember right before we did, you brought up the AJ Styles turn, but earlier on in the year before, I had a very terrible herniation in my neck, and it was the first time I ever had to ask for time off in professional wrestling. I'd lost all power on the right side of my body, and I thought that was it. I thought that I was going to have to wrap it up, and maybe I was already sort of winding down, I was able, luckily enough, to turn it around. But, in a heartbeat, these things can just fade or they can be taken away from you. So all I'm trying to do is just kind of dip my fingers and toes and as much as I can, and I'm making sure that all these things that I do take on as responsibilities are things that I enjoy outside of wrestling, so that there's never a dull moment. So the things that I do in the video game world, in anime, in bodybuilding, fitness, all that stuff, these are interests of mine outside of wrestling. So I'm keeping busy, but I just want to make sure that if for some reason something happens in the ring or outside of it or whatever, you never know what's going to happen, that I exit without regrets. And now I could not put a number on how long I will be active as a performer. I don't want to say that I'm going to do it until I just can't physically do it anymore, because that's a scary thought. Yeah, hopefully I'll just know when it's time. And until it is time, I'm just going to try to burn the candle on both ends and go out in a blaze of glory rather than just kind of hang around in a ring longer than I should.
Got to follow the Canadian tradition of Jericho and PCO at this point. Keep it going until your 50s.
I mean, it's hard to imagine, but again, like I said, 5 years ago,
with these supplements, who knows?
Oh yeah, exactly. There's always advancements. By the month, it seems there's something new on the horizon. So maybe.
So a quick wrestling question as we wrap up. Last year, when you and Hangman developed this team, there were a lot of people that were a little bit confused. They were like, really, Kenny Omega, best bout machine in a tag team. Hangman Page just competed for the world title in a tag team. That worked out more than swimmingly for everybody involved. It seemed like it increased the profile of the tag division. It reinvigorated Hangman Page as a top guy. It had people clamoring for Kenny Omega back in the title scene. When you look back at that, and I'm sure you saw plenty of people that were like, oh, really, a tag team? How does that feel to know that you guys accomplished something like that?
I mean, I never lost faith in the pursuit of that. There are a lot of people still who probably don't know my history and what I've sort of accomplished in Japan overseas. And I enjoy tag wrestling. I think it's an art form in itself, and it's a complete different challenge than putting together, a match in singles competition or otherwise. I do believe that there's, especially with AEW too, we've built this tag division to be the greatest in probably all of the major promotions. I have a lot of faith in our tag division, and there's just some incredible athletes, incredible teams. And the best part of that is that these are all teams that are completely committed to being the best tag team. We got a lot of alpha dogs in our division. And it was really awesome to almost run the gauntlet and to be able to work with all of these guys. And for me to have this sort of long storied relationship with Hangman Page, and for us to explore our characters more so within that division, was really rewarding. And I'm really glad that Hangman was allowed to show his personality, because even inside of wrestling and outside of wrestling, he's got one of the most fun characters to watch and to cheer for. And with how many people that we have in AEW, it's tough to see everyone. It really is. So you really have to make the best of every situation you're given. And you would have thought that maybe our characters have been watered down in a tag division because you have more bodies to deal with. But I felt that being able to kind of play off each other really helped kind of tell the story of camaraderie and, our motivations and who we really are as people. And now that we've exited out of that situation, you're going to know a lot more about us as people in our singles career pursuit, in the pursuit of our singles career. So I'm really happy that I was able to do work that I was proud of, do it with one of my friends, and then exit back out when it was time to do the singles thing coming out having a stronger character for both of us.
Yeah, it had people clamoring for a match that it had stakes, obviously, for the world title, but I mean, it was one of those things. Everybody was looking forward to it, to the point to where, people always wonder, oh, will they hold off for this? Will they wait? And then we got it, and it was we got a finish, but people were wanting more too. There's not a lot of stories in wrestling that can just keep you wanting more and more and more and more and more. And this one has done it. Kenny, yeah. I want to thank you so much. I'll ask you right before we leave. I did this with MJF, and it didn't go as well.
Sure.
I feel like there's a lot of negative wrestling news these days. So I ask people to say something nice about a series of subjects. MJF didn't do too well at it, but I feel like you would be better at it.
As long as he tried, that's the most important part.
And I mean, that's about as nice as you can say about MJF, but I'll go through about 4 or 5 names. Random ones. Brandon Cutler.
Yep. Brandon Cutler? Oh,
yeah.
Geez. Man, I will say one thing. I'm always there to watch the shows. I watch, all of Dark. I watch all of Dynamite. And one of the matches I was most impressed in and really felt, because I think the important part is to feel something. But when I watched the match between Brandon and Peter on Dark, it was just such a great matchup to watch on a program that doesn't go on our TV. I just felt it was just a match of the highest caliber that people were getting for free on YouTube. And every week he shows up in better shape. He's a guy that just really wants it, and just a joy to have around the, like, 'cause he hangs out with us in the same locker room, and fun guy to talk to, fun guy to be around, all around great human being and a great wrestler who's still developing and learning and growing. He's very underrated.
And I was invested in that match. I wanted to see who would finally win. I thought that was really great.
Right.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, she is an integral part of the women's division that you have a lot to do with.
Absolutely. I can't speak enough about Britt. She's just such a fun character to watch on TV, fun person to have in the back, always willing to work hard, never complaining. The only time I've ever seen her complain was when she was doing a rehab for her knee. she didn't like the stim therapy, which was funny. But Britt, just I'm glad she's a part of our team, and I'm glad people are seeing just how diverse she is as a professional wrestler, both with her character work and the stuff that she's going to be doing in ring, hopefully real soon. And it also gave me a chance to see more of Reba. Which,
oh God,
I just always leaves me in stitches. She's just so funny to watch. What a great character.
And the third and last name that I'll ask you to say something nice about, Colt Cabana.
Oh, one of the greatest entrepreneurs to ever do it. When you talk about people that, never counted on anyone else, just relied on their own skill set. And if they didn't have the skill set, they took the time to learn it so they could excel in whatever it is that they wanted to do. That's Colt in a nutshell. And again, it's funny because a lot of people know him for his efforts outside of the ring, whether it be in the podcast world or Pro Wrestling Tees or whatever. But he is one of the most accomplished and smoothest wrestlers that I've ever seen in the ring. He's so seasoned, and just one of the guys that when we hired him in AEW, he was just immediately TV ready. He knew exactly where the cameras were, how to play to the cameras, how to position himself, how to position his opponent. Just an absolute ring general. One of the most technical guys to ever do it, and to be doing it right now. And it's a very smart and pleasant human being to have around.
Guys, make sure you check out REDCON1. You can check them out online at redcon1.com, but they will be in stores. Kenny Omega's project in particular will be in stores all over the place. We've got the beautiful picture of the V-Trigger bundle up on the overlay, as you guys see. Kenny Omega, anything else you want to let the people know about REDCON before we go?
No, I believe all the information is going to be made available. There's going to be some real cool stuff to watch, to look at, to see, and the product should be readily available. There'll be a shirt bundle as well, and it doesn't stop here. This is really just the beginning. So, if for some reason pre-workout ain't your thing, well, something else might be, and we're always working on new stuff. So, it's going to be an ever-changing, ever-evolving thing with me and REDCON. It's not just a one and done. So a lot to come in the future. Just and of course I'll be making sure to let people know when there are more developments. But a really exciting start, and hopefully a fantastic journey to come.
REDCON1, Kenny Omega, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Until next time, guys, we're out.